So, on today's episode of Paleontologist in the Kitchen, you will notice that I am not in the kitchen. In fact, right now it looks like I'm in a barn. Let me fix this. There we go. Ah, yes. When I'm doing paleontology, I am here, in this place. Behind me is actually a photograph of the Hannah Basin in Wyoming, where I did my PhD work. And this photo behind me was actually taken on film a very, very long time ago. But today's episode of Paleontologist in the Kitchen is going to not be so much about being in the kitchen, but it's going to be about having lunch. Because lunch is important. And what happens is when you're doing field work, you want to make sure you have a lot of food, and you have to consider the food that is going to do well when you're hiking out in places like this. So, what goes into my lunch pail? First of all, let's talk about the lunch pail. Yes, friends, it is a Lightning McQueen lunch bag. Oh, yeah, this is my favorite thing in the world. I love it. Oh, yeah. This is what I put my lunch into. Why? Because this belonged to my child. And then, as is often the case, it became uncool. So, now it's mine. So we're going to use this to pack a delicious, fantastic lunch into for me. So one of the things we think about when we're dealing with lunch, and just so you guys understand, there's a cat here. So yes, this is Mia. Mia, say hello. No, she does not like being in the desert. Okay, Mia. Oh, ah, oh, ah, oh, ah. Okay, there you go. If it's just a one-off kind of thing, if you're doing field work or if you're going on a field trip or just going to be out and about for a day, packing a lunch is often just a simple matter of making a sandwich, putting it in a bag, and being done with it. But when you're in places like this for weeks and months, that boring old sandwich, I mean, there's only so many of those sandwiches that you can handle. You do still make a sandwich, but then what else is going to go into your lunch? Well, let's talk about how we make the perfect lunch. That's going to go into my Lightning McQueen bag. All right, here we go. There often is a sandwich. I will admit freely, there is usually a sandwich involved. Depending on the day, it may be a bologna sandwich, peanut butter, tuna sometimes. But then you gotta have the rest. What do I put in my bag? When you're thinking about what's going to go into your bag, first of all, this is small. I mean, it's not that big. So whatever's going to go into here, it's got to last you a whole day. And realize you're going to be out there where it's hotter than blazes. It's probably close to 95 degrees, 100 degrees, uncomfortably hot. So you're going to be drinking a lot of water. You're going to want to eat. You're not going to want to eat a big meal because you might wind up being in trouble. So what you really want is a lot of little things to eat, a lot of snacks. I will say that when I'm doing field work out in these places, I usually have, well, here's one thing I almost always have. Yes, this one I've been working on, but this is my Gatorade. I like drinking that. And I usually have 2 or 3 liters of water. I have one of those Camelback style things and those water bladders, the little bite valve. Because when you're out here and it's that hot, you need to be constantly drinking. There's just no two ways about it. You're gonna get in trouble in a big hurry. I like the Gatorades. Got a cat hair in my mouth. I like the Gatorades, and I drink the zero. because I don't like all the sugar that's in the regular Gatorade. But the benefit of Gatorades of all kinds is that the electrolytes are something you do need if you're sweating a lot. So keep that in mind. But there are other ways to make sure you get some electrolytes. So let's talk about that. Well, chips are nice. Now here's the deal. When you're limited, ouch. When you're limited in space, oh, it's the same color of green. When you're limited in space, what you really want to use are little Ziploc bags. It really helps you out. You want to use bags rather than stuffing a bunch of packages of Fritos or whatever in your bag, which are all just full of air and going to take up a ton of space. You take a smaller bag, and give yourself a few to take with you. This serves two purposes. One, it makes things a little bit more compact, so you don't wind up with a lot of extra air. And two, it keeps you from eating too much. So look, I put some Fritos in here. You roll it up, close it up, and now we've got some Fritos. Something else that usually goes in my lunch is also going to disappear is green screens are fun. Why do I eat foods that tend to be the same color as my green screen? This is a granola bar, okay? Granola bars are great. And the nice thing about my Lightning McQueen bag is that everything will fit neatly into here. So now I've started putting things into there. Oh gosh. So granola bar, fruit snacks. These things are the best. I eat a lot of these, but sometimes this is all I need. Get myself over the hump. I'll put a couple of those in there because it's small. I really hope my noise canceling is working because it would be really loud otherwise. You can't go wrong with cookies. Now here's the fun thing about being in the field. It's a different mindset because if I'm making myself something to take to work, I may just as well put carrots or something into this bag, which should be just as good. And it would make as much sense. It would make good sense if I'm just going to be sitting in the office. But when I am doing field work, I don't count calories. I don't. I don't think it's worthwhile to count calories when you're doing field work because you're working hard. Even if you're just like sitting, it still is hot. You're working hard. So I make sure my lunch is something really enjoyable. These things are awesome too. These little fruit cups, they're pretty awesome to have. I like having one of those in here. So far, now I haven't made a sandwich, but a sandwich would go in here probably. I have my granola bar, I have some fruit snacks, I have some chips. If I, depending on the kind of sandwich, if I say make a sandwich that I want to put pickles on, well, I'll tell you what, it sucks to make your sandwich, put pickles on it, and have everything get soggy over the course of the day. So usually I pack all the parts of my sandwich separate so that I can build the sandwich in the field so that it's a little bit yummier. But I love doing field work because it's not just about that. Whoopsies. it's not just about going out and doing some science, but that it is a time when I'm just like, I'm just gonna eat what I want when I want it. There we go. Turn yourself into a little kid again. Have what you want. All right. So I've created this lunch. There's one last thing that's going to go in here. I have my Gatorade for electrolytes. I have my water to keep myself hydrated. I have this. But what I also need is something that perhaps some of you can understand. And it's brilliant that we can have these things now. If you're like me, I hope you're not because it sucks. But I am, like many people in this world, hopelessly addicted to caffeine. And I like to have a soda in the middle of the day. Or pop, or soda pop, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what part of the world you're from. But you learn that caffeine is actually not the best idea when you're doing field work because it's a diuretic and you lose water. But you really want to have some caffeine in the middle of the day, maybe, or maybe you just like to have a soda with lunch. So I've discovered that these little pony cans are really amazing to have with you. Plus, they fit quite neatly into my awesome little bag. So now I have this amazing lunch. I haven't put, like I said, I haven't built a sandwich to put in there, but any old sandwich will do. You have all these little snacks, and you have an awesome race car to bring with you. Yes, yes, I am kind of delighted. I mean, a little sad. It was a little sad when it became, not cool for him to have this lunch bag. But on the other hand, it's really cool. And I'll tell you what, my paleontology friends are maybe just a little bit jealous because I have a Lightning McQueen bag. So, for those of you who think that paleontologists and scientists are all uppity, snooty, hoity-toity people, nope, nope. Race cars, friends, race cars. So that's paleontologist in the kitchen, in the camp kitchen for this week. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction of how lunches work in the field. This is the way we do it, especially when we have a whole bunch of people. And this way, you have lots of different snacks and you can enjoy a nice meal. While you're doing field work, you get a little bit of snack, a little bit of sugar. It's something fun to look forward to because it's kind of not convenient to make lunch like this for yourself every single day when you're at home. So, yeah. So, next time you're making lunch, think about how the weirdo paleontologists in the world make their lunches and have some fun. None of us are too old or too mature or too uppity or too to enjoy lunch. Fun lunches aren't just for kids. They're for us too. And if we've got to bring a lunch to work, by golly, bring a fun lunch to work. And I will see you next time for another episode of Paleontologist in the Kitchen. Bye bye for now.